film begins in Utica, New York, with a truck driver known as Clean, who works as a garbage collector. He lives and works in a rundown neighborhood plagued by crime. During his shifts, he often picks up discarded items that might still be useful and keeps them. At home, these objects reflect his quiet attempt to find redemption. But his violent past continues to haunt him, reminding him that no matter what he does, he can never fully escape it. Clean drives to a scrapyard and prepares canned food for his dog. Later, he joins a meeting where a veteran named Travis admits to struggling with drug addiction, while Clean reveals that his own past addiction was to violence. At home, he lives alone, still grieving the loss of his daughter and dealing with a divorce. He cooks chicken for dinner and fixes an item he found during his garbage route. The next morning, he visits his neighbor and invites a teenage girl named Diana to eat with him. Diana acknowledges all he has done for her, but reminds him that he is not her father. Before leaving on the school bus, Diana gives Clean a handmade bracelet. After she leaves, he tidies up and visits a thrift store, hoping to sell an item for some cash. While there, he sees a woman buying a gun, which troubles him, though his thoughts shift when he later buys paint from another woman. Clean also spends his time helping the community by painting over graffiti on neighborhood walls. The next morning, he notices new tenants moving in and once again invites Diana to share a meal with him. Clean eyes the new tenants with suspicion, but at night, he is haunted by visions of his late daughter that jolt him awake. Looking at her photo, he is overcome with emotion. The next day, at Travis's barbershop, Travis advises him that sometimes it's better to let go or learn to live with the pain. Meanwhile, the story introduces Michael, a powerful drug lord. He arrives to pick up his son, Mikey, from prison, but before he can reach him, Mikey is whisked away by friends, leaving Michael frustrated and disappointed. Mikey's friends drive away with him, and although Michael is angry, he decides to let it go. Meanwhile, Clean learns at work that staff cuts mean he must cover more areas on his garbage route. As he makes his rounds through different neighborhoods, he passes a seafood restaurant owned by Michael and spots a group of thugs dealing drugs nearby. He chooses to ignore them and keeps working. Later at home, memories of his past and the loss of his daughter continue to haunt him. The next day, Clean notices Diana walking to school because the bus no longer comes to their area. He offers her a ride, and during the trip, she asks why he is always alone without a girlfriend. Clean admits he is not good with women and prefers to focus on his work. Meanwhile, Mikey's friends drop him off late, which angers his father, Michael. Michael pushes him to join the family business, but Mikey mocks him, saying he can't stand the smell. Soon after, Michael realizes 5 bags of cocaine are missing and suspects the Chinese couriers of stealing from him. At the same time, Clean repairs his late daughter's bicycle and gives it to Diana so she can get to school more easily. Diana's grandmother, Ethel, moves out and tells Clean he doesn't need to worry about Diana. Clean replies that he does it to save himself, like a lost soul. Ethel remembers when the streets were once full of children playing, but now gangs have forced them inside. She mentions seeing him paint over graffiti and says she believes he is a good man, but Clean denies it. Later, at Travis's house, Clean recalls buying a bicycle for his daughter, the joy of watching her ride it, and the precious memories that still stay with him. Michael spends time at church while his cocaine business continues in the background. The drugs are hidden in fish deliveries brought in by Chinese couriers and divided into small grams for neighborhood distribution. During one unloading, Michael calls Mikey over and viciously beats the Chinese crew leader with a hammer to send a message. He warns the others to check their shipments more carefully, then orders Mikey to clean up the blood. That night, while on his garbage route, Clean notices blood and broken glass from the murdered couriers. Disturbed but silent, he continues with his work. Right after, Michael appeared behind Clean. He apologized for the bad smell and tried to offer him a cigarette, but Clean refused. Michael then attempted to give him a tip, but Clean calmly declined again and walked away. The next day, Clean's car broke down while he was driving through a rough neighborhood. As he checked under the hood, a group of thugs ran past, chasing someone into an alley. Hearing screams, he felt compelled to look and saw them savagely beating a man. Clean froze, caught in a moment of hesitation. When the gang noticed him and closed in, another thug came from behind and struck him hard with a baseball bat. Clean woke up in the hospital, where he was being treated. He remembered the moment his daughter once caught him self-medicating. The doctor gave him a prescription, but Clean refused to take it. At work, he was placed on leave because of his condition. On his way home, he saw Diana outside at night saying her grandmother had taken the keys. Clean invited her inside. While there, Diana noticed he wasn't doing well. As she looked around, she discovered a wooden box. When she opened it, Clean reacted suddenly, startling her so badly that she ran out in fear. At Michael's mansion, he tried to talk to Mikey, but Mikey was too focused on practicing rap. This angered Michael and led to a heated confrontation. Mikey pulled out a knife and threatened him, but couldn't bring himself to kill his own father. In the end, he chose to leave home. Later, while driving, Clean spotted Diana with a group of thugs. He told her to go home since it was late, but she reminded him he wasn't her father and had no right to control her. The thugs confronted Clean and told him to leave, but Diana eventually went with him to avoid trouble. At a meeting afterward, a man spoke about demons that haunt people, making them lose hope and believe they can't achieve anything. Outside, a man walked up to Clean and said his face looked familiar. Clean denied it, but the man insisted he knew him as the former partner of a well-known gangster. Ignoring him, Clean went back to scrubbing graffiti in an abandoned building. While looking inside, he felt someone might be there, so he checked. He then came across a toolbox with a wrench inside. That night, as Clean drove around, he spotted Diana's bike outside a thug's house. Inside, the gang was drinking and using drugs, with Diana among them. When she tried to leave, one of the men blocked her path, filmed her, and tried to harass her. Clean reached the door and saw Diana inside. He burst in and fought the thugs with a wrench, striking them down without mercy, including the one who tried to assault her. Mikey was among the group. Afterward, Clean took Diana in his arms and brought her back to her grandmother, unaware that the whole incident had been recorded on a phone. Meanwhile, Michael stayed with his injured son. The doctor warned that Mikey needed surgery or he might lose his voice forever. Michael refused, seeing it as a lesson for him instead. Later, he watched the recording from the night before and uncovered Clean's real identity. Frank, a corrupt cop, revealed that Clean was only a garbage collector living in the slums. Fearing that Clean might escape, Michael ordered Frank to kill Diana and Ethel to hurt him before capturing him. At the same time, Clean was driving out of town with both of them. Not long after, a police officer signaled him to stop. When he pulled over, he realized the cops were working for Michael. Clean quickly sped off, trying to get away. He left the main road, hoping to hide and switch cars. They stopped at a spot with a bowling alley and a diner. While Diana took Ethel to the restroom, Clean searched the parking lot for a car to steal. At the same time, some of Michael's men noticed his vehicle. Once they confirmed it was his, they headed toward the diner. As the henchmen walked in, Diana and Ethel were about to step outside, so they quickly ran back inside. While waiting for them, Clean spotted one of the thugs, overpowered him, and took his axe. The rest of the gang kept chasing, forcing Diana and Ethel to run to the back of the building to hide. Their hiding spot was not secure, and the henchmen almost found them. Just then, Clean appeared and confronted the attackers. The fight was fierce, but he managed to overpower them one by one. After defeating them all, he rejoined Diana and Ethel and urged them to escape. We flash back to a night when Clean was still working as a hitman. When he returned home, he discovered his drug syringe was missing and realized his daughter had used it. Tragically, she died, leaving him consumed by guilt and grief. From that moment on, his life was never the same. At a motel, Ethel blamed Clean for keeping her from going home, but he promised to fix everything. Later, Clean returned to the neighborhood, met Travis, and warned him about Michael's attacks. He then collected money from his house and went to a pawn shop to buy weapons. A friend who worked there gave him one of the best guns for his needs. After that, Clean gathered more supplies and blueprints. Meanwhile, Frank got a call and discovered that Clean was actually the feared assassin once known as the Grim Reaper. Clean called Michael and warned him that he knew where he lived and was coming for him. He then used his skills to make a silencer for his pump-action shotgun. To remind himself of his violent past, he carved a tattoo on his back. Finally, he put on body armor, armed himself with multiple weapons, and packed everything into his car. Michael ordered his men to tighten security. Meanwhile, Clean went back to his garbage collection job. Parking outside Michael's house, he rigged the fuse box with a trap and quietly took down all the guards outside before returning to his garbage truck. While Michael and his crew were drinking and celebrating, Clean drove his truck straight into the house. The trap went off, cutting the power. Michael's men fired at the truck, but Clean slipped out and started a fierce gunfight with them. Soon after, Frank confronted him, and the two fought in a brutal showdown. Clean fired a flare gun at Michael and continued to pursue him. As Michael attempted to conceal himself, he narrowly avoided being shot and managed to fire back first. Clean then closed the distance, initiating a violent and relentless hand-to-hand confrontation. Michael knocked Clean to the ground. In that moment, Clean saw a vision of his daughter. Drawing strength from it, he fought back and overpowered Michael. Just as he was about to finish him, Mickey appeared and shot Clean before turning the gun on his own father. Mikey kept firing until the gun was empty, and when he tried to shoot Clean again, he realized he had no bullets left. After the battle, Diana's neighborhood was finally free of crime. Children began playing outside again. One day, while riding her bike, Diana saw a garbage truck approaching and smiled. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe for more summaries. See you next time, and have a great day.